One of the things I remember that God told me about Ministry of Angels is this. I remember I was wondering why are we not experiencing, all right, angelic interventions, interruptions in our lives, in everyday life, the way people did in Bible times. And now one of the things the Lord, said to me is that we've come to a point where, we've become too sophisticated. And as such, the things that we ordinarily look, forward for, as far as the intervention of angels are concerned, we don't expect. There was this period of time when we began a missionary work somewhere in Mushi. That was like in 2004, 2005. Now remember that during that time, we'll finish so late, we'll start coming back. Now at that time I lived in Mafuluku, inside Oshodi, and this was in Mushi. Now we'll finish so late that before we get home each day, I will not get home until around 11 to 12. Now there was this very day that we finished very late, no bus, nothing. Now I walked down that Ladipo road until I don't know if you know Ladipo, until I got to that 7 and 8. Now when I got there, I was like, Lord, I'm not ready to trek. I'm not ready to trek. Now, at that moment, the Holy Spirit just reminded me about the things previously I've been meditating on as far as Ministry of Angel is concerned. So at that point, I began to use my words to verbalize, to acknowledge their involvement, their ministry, in my life, their intervention. Now, while I was doing that, I just kept walking when suddenly a bike stopped in front of me, and I was so tired that while trying to tell him where I was going, I was already mounting the bike. I was mounting, and by the time I mounted, before I finished what I was saying, the guy was already going. But you see, this was from Charity now. I've walked down from 7, I've gotten to Charity. I don't know if you know that place very well. Now, by the time we took off from Charity, listen, in less than 30 seconds, we're at the place I was going to, Mafuluku. So in shock and surprise, I jumped out of the bike like, what happened? And the guy was still on the bike. He didn't turn to look at me. I was still shocked. Now, in my shock, I was putting my hand in my pocket to bring out money when suddenly the guy just zoomed off. 1, 2, 5 seconds, he just disappeared into thin air. That was when it dawned on me that, wow, this was an angel all along. Now, it got me thinking that is it because I was tired? And the Lord said, no, it's not because you were tired. It was because I engaged them, consciously engaged them. Because while I was thinking it was because I was tired, and I remembered other times I had been tired. And in that tiredness, I trekked till I got to where I was going to. So there is that place of engaging, of consciously asking, for their ministry. There are a lot of things we do today that we don't expect. It's not something we say with our mouth, but with our attitude. We don't expect their ministry. We know how to fix them. We know how to fix this. Things come up, we know what to do. This one happened, we know what to do. We have it all fixed up. We become so civilized that we don't need heaven's civilization. And you see, angels are a part of the kingdom civilizations of God. There are things that they are assigned to do for us that there is no level of human civilization attained that will be able to get those things done for us. So, one of the things God began teaching me then was I had to start consciously training myself to expect their ministry. I had to, so that when something happens that is beyond my capability, before my mind will tilt towards a solution within human capability, I will first of all tilt my thoughts towards the ministry of angels. There was a certain time that this was in 2000 and this was 2 years ago, shortly after we just moved to Ijebu-Ode. Now, when we moved, each time we come to Lagos, at that time we usually stay with some families. So there's this particular family we're staying with. When I will come, we'll just stay with him for a couple of days before we go back home. Now, when we moved, on this particular day, we were in this man's house. He was on duty. He went to the office. He was not going to come for that meeting because he had to be in the office. So he had already told me how to lock the door and where to keep the key. But in our haste, while we're in a haste, we're in a hurry, I locked the door, but still left the key in the keyhole. So we already now, when we remembered, like, wow, now we had gone so far, there was no way we could come back, all right, to keep the key properly, because we were already very late, and I didn't want to have issue with him. He's not going to have any issue, but I wanted to keep it where he wanted me to keep it. Right there and I was like, wow, dear Lord, I just began to thank God for the ministry of angels. I just began to thank God for the ministry of angels, and I began to acknowledge the possibilities that is available via their ministry. You understand? I began to say, Lord, I thank you because I can't go back and put that key, but I know, all right, that my angels can do that. I began to acknowledge what they can do and began to accept what I can't do. We went for the meeting. By the time we came back, the man had come back. So, playfully, I now asked him, I said, where did you find the key? He said, I met it. I said, that's behind the door now, that's under that flower vase. Because there's a flower vase behind the main entrance door where he told me to keep. He said, I met the key there now. And I said, He left. He now came back and said, he said, sorry, Pastor Dave, why did you ask that question? Or didn't you put it there? I said, no, where did you say you found the key? He said, I found it. I'm going to look at ourselves. We started laughing. You understand? Ordinarily, now we were new there, we're just putting up with him for a couple of days. Ordinarily, we could have said, okay, let's call somebody who is a neighbor. We could have done all of that. But rather than do that, the first thing we looked forward to was the ministry of angels, the intervention of angels. So angels are real. You see, if they are not real around us, it is because we have an attitude, we have a mental attitude, that has shut down their ministry. While in our heart we claim that we believe in the ministry of angels, we truly do not believe. Because in our heart we believe, but we speak words that are contrary. We think thoughts that are contrary. All right? We already have the quick fixes in our mind. We know how to fix things. So that to the point that we don't expect. So the reasons why angels are not intervening as they should is because the saints are not, because the expectation of the saint that they release through words unlocks their intervention. So a whole lot of challenges that the saints are experiencing today are unnecessary. As far as the ministry of angels are concerned, they are unnecessary. A whole lot, very unnecessary. Now, it's not, one thing I've come to find about the ministry of angels, you do not need to have a very great faith. You don't need to be very, very spiritual. What you need is to be a child of God. All right, and in simple faith, all right, release their ministry through the words of your mouth. And when you do, all right, do not try to think about how it will be done. Don't try to think about how it will be done. Don't try to think about how it will be done. Let me go another example. I love talking about angels a lot. Another example is there was this certain day that we were not in the house back home in Djibouti. We were not in the house. That was a period of time that we had this funny problem with our key lock. All right, so we this very day, a certain pastor friend who lives not too far from our house came to the house and to knock. He didn't see the car outside, but he said the reason why normally when he comes to the and doesn't see the car, he will go. He said, but the reason why he knocked is because when he came close to the door, he was hearing footsteps. She was like, or maybe my wife is in the house. Maybe it's me that is not in the house. He said he knocked, no response. Then he, pushed the doorknob and the door opened. He entered. Now, while he was inside calling out for me, calling out for my wife, our neighbor upstairs came downstairs, to look for me. He had a letter I wanted to deliver. So he met him, like, he's pastor around his wife. He said he doesn't know, but it's like somebody's in the house. So they kept calling out. They kept hearing movements. He said, as soon as they made the attempt to walk towards the particular way they were hearing movements, he said, a sensation of God's power hit the two of them. They started shaking. It was in that state that they ran out. Now, when they ran out, he now called my number in Lagos and asked where I was. I said I was in Lagos. He said, what about my wife? I said, we went together. Like, the wife is not in the house. I said, no, we are together. Then he said, but he's hearing footsteps in the house. And something unusual happened. I said, what is it that happened? He said, they've started having sensation of God's power. Now, at the time, they didn't know it was God's power. He said, it started shaking. And I said, sir, there is nobody in the house. The only person, all right, that is in the house, what you are hearing is angels. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. You see, if believers understand the ministry of angels to the point of releasing them, one of such things that will happen is that your things, all right, cannot be stolen.
That's right.
It's, we live in a world, like I said something about what God told me about our sophistication. We live in a world where we have all kind of security gadgets. If we truly exercise our faith, our right to the ministry of angels, your property nobody will be able to steal it. It doesn't matter where it is, nobody will be able to steal it. That is one of the essence of the ministries of angels. That is one of the essence of the ministry of angels. Nobody will. So this is one of the things that makes up our inheritances in Christ, the ministry of angels. And we are not exercising, we're not taking advantage of angelic ministry as much as we should. As much as we should. We are not as much as we should. I was telling somebody, I said, the reason why when I'm traveling, all right, I don't pray. Most prayer people pray, when traveling, particularly when you're going by road to some of these northern far places those prayers are fear-based. Because if you notice, when they pray, from the start of the prayer to the end, what they will acknowledge is demons. They will bind demons in the air. They will bind demons, all kinds of demons. All kinds of demons. So, I tell you that the reason why I don't pray is because the prayer that guarantees your safety, all right, when traveling, all right, is not that time. It's not the prayer you do at that time. If at all you pray, for me, I tell you that if at all I pray in the vehicle, the kind of prayer I do is a prayer that acknowledges, all right, the already activated and released ministry of angels. I just reaffirm